Alright folks, welcome to the video. Anthony Special here with Hawkeye Traders. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Going to be looking at some key turning points here on Johnson & Johnson. This is ticker JNJ. This is a daily chart representing each candle is one full trading session worth of data. So when you're a stock trader, when you're trading the higher time frame, when you are looking to swing trade or even potentially enter a position trade or even perhaps exit a trade, looking at high volume surges and the reaction or interaction between volume and price is going to lead you to believe that something may or may not necessarily be in line. So let's just take a few instances here. I'm just simply looking for the highest peaks of volume. And as you can notice here on Friday, December 15, 2023, take a look at this super small candle. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a little bit. But here's what I'm focused on. I'm going to just drop some arrows here so you can see it as clear as I do. Okay, looking at this little candle right here. I'm also looking at this volume as well right here. So notice ultra high selling volume and this tiny doji style candle. Now, wouldn't you think that much selling volume should, produce a somewhat of a candle that looks like what printed on Wednesday the 20th, okay? So this told me, at least for the moment, there's super strong sellers that are unable to push below this prior buying candle. So what did this buying candle just become? It just became support. Why? Because the sellers stepped in and were unsuccessful in pushing through this specific candle. So now I'm looking and putting this puzzle together and saying, well, if there's that much selling volume and we're unsuccessful in making a new low, is there a chance that perhaps we've already placed a higher low utilizing that prior buying candle, right? And now this could very well be support. Well, just utilizing the wick of this candle, right? Because that's the part where the strongest rejection occurred. I drew a trend line from the prior low to that low, and notice how nicely when price came back in, notice how small the selling volume was on this big bar that fell back. That tells me that the sellers have weakened. They've lost all their strength. They've more than likely climaxed on December 15th. We consolidate for another 2 or 3 days. We drop into perfect support, not only the wick of this prior candle, but a beautifully assigned trend line. We have the origin, touch number 1, 2, 3, and we continue then to push on. So if I was trading Johnson & Johnson and I'm preparing to balance my portfolio into the end of the year and I see this, I'm not necessarily convinced, at least for that moment, that price is going to push lower. In fact, I'm more convinced that this is a higher low and that we could then potentially push higher, perhaps even through this prior high, which you can see we certainly did that, right? Like we came back up here and we came right through it, right? Until we went on to put this consolidative high here. And then notice something. Notice something very specific as we pushed into that high. What did the buying volume do? Well, it decreased. So with no new buying volume coming in, you can see this last little spurt that we were unsuccessful in pushing higher, and then price started drifting below the trend line here. But all I'm trying to point out here, guys, is how to specifically interpret ultra high volume. If you just focused on that alone, you'd be surprised how much of the market you would see that you're currently missing. So I want to share this quick video with you, kind of walk you through how these areas of high volume, whether it be buying or selling, can lead you into understanding what price action is potentially going to do next. I see super strong selling. I don't see a new low being made. In fact, I now mark this wick off as support. I run a trend line from the prior low to that low, and as you can see, beautifully, price pulled back in, found support, and continued to rally into that prior high, eventually pushing above it. Okay, notice here we get a strong buying candle, not super strong, but you can see there's an increase in buying. We probably close within the 60 percentile area of the overall move here, and then we start just kind of consolidating around. The buyers give it one last shot, fail to make a new closed high, and then we start falling back from there. But easy to interpret the fact that there could have very well been provided support based on that ultra high selling volume and no follow through, and easy to identify that, hey, the buyers have lost interest at this price by simply noticing that the buying volume had decreased. So what's your next step? Next step is to go below this video. I'm going to leave a link there. Click on that link. I'd like you to grab a piece of paper, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, whatever suits you. Give me a short period of time to walk you through the understanding between volume and price action. Because once you've done that, you're now going to have the ability to say, hey, you know what? We're all humans. We don't know what we don't know. And now that I understand what price action and volume bring to the table, I can start integrating this for myself. So once you're done with that webinar, I want to get these indicators populated on your trading screen. Whether you trade TradingView, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, or MetaTrader, doesn't matter. Our software is applicable to all of them. And I want to get you access to the Hawkeye Volume Mastery Series so you can start understanding this interpretation, this relationship between buyers, sellers, and the candle prices along with the volume itself. Because guys, once you see this, everything else will fade away. If you notice on my screen, there's nothing but volume and price action. Why? Because that's all I need to put together my analysis to believe what could potentially happen next. And guys, I didn't pre-analyze this chart. I just came to it because I saw this ultra high selling volume and then went ahead and drew all this with you, as I'm recording this video. This was not a preface of thought. It was just, hey, I see what the volume's doing. Hey, I see what the price action's doing. I can draw just a few simple lines and a little box and now understand what's happening, when, where, and why. And that's ultimately the point that I want to get you to. So again, your next step, head below this video, click on the link, consume the training webinar, take notes, feel free to reach out to us. I'll leave our contact information down there below. Let us answer any questions you have. Let's get the indicators populated up on your screen. Let's get you access to the Hawkeye Volume Mastery Series so you can start putting this together for yourself, whether you're day trading, swing trading, or position trading. That is irrelevant. The interactions and relationship between volume and price action are consistent through all time frames on all assets. So look forward to seeing you in the training webinar. Looking forward to working with you. God bless. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video.